Welcome back to the Woodstock Trader. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the Doug Ritter Mini-RSK or RSK. This is more of a unboxing review than a full review, but we're going to get into the features, some of the things we see right away that we like about the knife, and of course, fit, function, and things like that. But let's first unbox it and see what you get. It comes in a Hogue box, which Hogue is the manufacturer now for Doug Ritter knives. We also get a caution. Knives are sharp. You might cut yourself. Limited warranty. Good to know. And maintenance tips, which I won't bother reading them to you, but I thought those were pretty good maintenance tips on cleaning the blade, use, keeping it sharp. So I do keep boxes because the site is called Woodstock Trader. So I buy and sell knives all the time. So I'll use a knife for a while, keep it in good shape. If I've not resharpened it, sometimes I sell it. So keep your boxes. Okay, it comes in a pouch, a nice nylon pouch. Lined nylon pouch. Well, that's good. And here is the Doug Ritter / Hogue Mini-RSK, or I call them RSK. It is a smaller version of the RSK that first was developed with Benchmade, and now it's made with Hogue. It has a 2.9-inch blade. And I selected this because I'm not a fan of carrying a big pocket knife unless I'm going someplace that I need a big pocket knife. Everyday carry, a 3-inch blade, give or take, is perfect for me. In our Don't Talk Spec to Me segment, we're going to talk about frame type, blade shape, and blade material, what I consider the 3 main features of any knife. For the Mini-RSK, this is a pivot style system. They call it the Able lock system. Benchmade has a similar system called the Axis lock. Both of them are equally well made, in my view. This seems to be just as crisp and tight of a lockup as any of my Benchmades. I do like that the stud on that, I don't know if you can see that, it's got kind of a triangular feature that is very grippy. So it's very easy to open and close with one hand. So this pivot system, in this case the Able lock system, is a good choice for a pocket knife in my opinion. And Doug Ritter has made a good version of what is commonly seen in Benchmades. So, blade shape. Well, the blade shape, it's a little bit of a variant, but I still believe this is a drop point shape. And why I say that is because even though the tip is pretty much center to that, the belly does come up around to meet the tip off the ridge of the knife. And to me, that's more of a drop point type shape. Drop points are very common. They're pretty good at slicing. They don't have quite the belly of a Skinner or some knives like the Lion Spy, but all around for cutting, they have a fairly long straight edge and then a fairly short belly. Good all-around knife for all types of cutting. Blade material. Probably one of the most interesting things of this knife is this is a steel that I've not had before. The Crucible CPM, what is that? C20, I always mess this up. CPM-20CV. I just keep saying 20CV and I forget the rest of it. It is a stone-washed finish, which I always like in a plain blade or a non-coated blade because it hides the scratches, fingerprints, minor dust. It just looks good over time. Let's get back to the steel. Go to Blade HQ sometime and read about the 20 CV steel. And I think it'll show you comparisons of how it wears against other steels and its corrosion resistance and wear resistance, which to me are the two most important things. Now, naturally, a knife that has high wear resistance means it's harder to sharpen. And I'm okay with that. I've got a really good sharpening system called the Wicked Edge. And I will sometimes even reprofile an edge because I want a little something different. I don't like the factory edge, or I have a hard time keeping the factory edge, so I make my own. This is a pretty good looking edge. I don't know if we can see it up close. I'll probably try just to, as it gets dull, and they really never get too dull in my house. We'll try to just to keep the edge at the same angle, whatever angle that is, and for a while before I start messing around with the knife. Let's go on to the next segment. All right, this segment we refer to as Talk to the Hand segment. Why? Because when I buy a knife, it has to feel right in my hand. Now, obviously, if I'm buying a knife from the internet, I'm taking a little bit of a risk. But I've been buying knives long enough that I know the size that works well for me, and I know the shape, handle materials. So when you get a knife, or if you're trying a knife in a store, which is always a great way to go, if you have a good dealer you can go with, is how's a knife function in your hand? I mean, right up, what's your impressions of it? Does it open easily? Does it close easily? How grippy is it in the hand? Is it the right size? This knife is just a tad on the small size, but you know, I didn't want the larger knife, which I think is 3.4 inch blade. This is like a 2.9 inch blade. I like knives generally around a 3-inch blade. And of course, the blade is going to determine the length of the handle. And you can see that's not a very long, so in your pocket, it's not going to be gigantic. I think the, let's see, the closed length is 4 inches. To me, that's perfect. When you're sitting down a lot like I do at a desk, something bulky in your pants, well, that doesn't sound right, does it? It shouldn't be anything bulky in your pants. You want to be comfortable when you're sitting down, whatever you're wearing, and so having something that's appropriate for what you're doing kind of determines the size of the knife. So how it feels, ease of use, that's good. Ease of carry, well, I haven't worn it in my pocket yet, but I would tell you that these G10 scales will probably maybe be sanded down just a minute bit under the clip, just because I've had knives before with G10s that were aggressive, and this is fairly aggressive, and they will wear the crap out of your jeans pocket. They just wear them out in no time. So, but you have to be careful. You do it too much and then just falls out of your pocket. You don't need that either. Was there again, probably showing you that clip again. That's a nice deep pocket clip that's on the knife. And my understanding is it's the same screw pattern as other Hogue knives, Benchmates, and maybe even Spydercos. So you can probably, if you didn't like that clip, you could probably easily find another clip to replace it. And I've read some people online that weren't happy with the clip and they replaced it. And they spent like $24 for another clip. Like, oh my God, I would never spend $24 for a clip. But I guess if you really think that's the deficiency of the knife, then well, go for it. I mean, they're not cheap. Doug Ritter isn't cheap. I think I paid around $149, $150 before tax on KnifeWorks. And it's a KnifeWorks exclusive, so I thought, like, it seems like a pretty good deal. I was intrigued with the knife and wanted to order it. In our Inspect, Collect, or reject segment, typically we talk about whether you should do more research before you buy the knife, whether we think this is a fabulous deal and you should buy it while you can, especially if they're going quickly or limited. Sometimes they're limited productions. Or reject, we just don't think it's a good knife and worth your time, and our opinion, and it is just an opinion, that you should probably pass on this knife. Well, being this is more of an unboxing review, although I can tell you I like the way that opens. We're going to come back to you in a part 2. We'll make it short about what we liked about the knife, what we didn't like, and what we'd like to see improved, and then give you an inspect, collect, or reject. See you then.